At the dawn of the 19th century, one man's shadow loomed over all of Europe: Napoleon Bonaparte. He was a general, a statesman, a self-crowned emperor who emerged from the fires of the French Revolution to challenge the old world. The Napoleonic Wars were more than just battles. They were a continental firestorm. From the deserts of Egypt to the frozen plains of Russia, nations clashed in a desperate struggle for dominance. Napoleon's military genius was legendary. His grand army, loyal and swift, seemed invincible. He crushed the combined might of Austria and Russia at Austerlitz and shattered the Prussian army at Jena. Victory followed victory, but ambition has its price. The disastrous 1812 invasion of Russia, with its brutal winter, decimated his forces. Europe, sensing weakness, united against him. Defeated at Leipzig and finally at Waterloo, his empire crumbled. Though his reign ended, his legacy endures, rewriting laws, redrawing maps, and forever changing the face of warfare. Napoleon was gone, but the world he created remained. Thanks for watching. Imagine a world where empires are collapsing, where chaos reigns. Out of this turmoil, at the dawn of the 14th century, a new power begins to stir. On the frontier of the fading Byzantine Empire, a visionary warrior named Osman I saw not an end, but a beginning. In 1299, he founded a small state, lacking wealth and power, but driven by an unshakable destiny. Surrounded by rivals, the early Ottomans fought with fierce discipline and unwavering faith. They weren't just conquerors, they were builders, welcoming warriors, scholars, and merchants into their growing community. Their true strengths lay in their unity and their incredible ability to adapt. Slowly but surely, fortress by fortress, they pushed forward. Byzantine lands fell, trade routes shifted, and the balance of power in Anatolia began to change forever. Osman himself wouldn't see the full glory of the empire his name would inspire, but his legacy was the foundation. From this small beginning grew an empire that would conquer Constantinople, rule for over 600 years, and shape the course of history across 3 continents. This is the story of how one man's vision forged an empire. Imagine a single act of defiance plunging an entire continent into chaos. That's exactly what happened in 1618. In Prague, furious nobles tossed 2 imperial officials out of a castle window. This event, known as the Defenestration of Prague, lit the fuse for the 30 Years' War. What started as a religious conflict between Protestants and Catholics quickly spiraled into a brutal, all-out power struggle. Kings and generals carved bloody paths across Europe. Armies didn't just fight each other, they ravaged the land, leaving a trail of burned villages and starving civilians. Famine and disease became deadlier than any sword. In some German regions, nearly a third of the population perished. For 30 agonizing years, Europe bled. Finally, in 1648, the Peace of Westphalia brought an end to the nightmare. It redrew the map of Europe and laid the groundwork for the modern world we know today. A new era was born, but from the ashes of unimaginable devastation. 2 crowns, 1 throne, and a war that would burn for over a century. England's kings claimed the French crown. France refused. What followed was not a single war, but generations raised in blood, steel, and fire. At Crécy, arrows darkened the sky. At Poitiers, a French king was captured. And at Agincourt, English longbows defied impossible odds. France bled, and it seemed the French crown was lost. Then a voice rose from the shadows. Joan of Arc. At just 17, she rode into battle, her armor gleaming. Inspired by her, France fought back. The tide turned. Though she was captured and burned, Joan's fire did not die. In 1453, the war that lasted 116 years was finally over. The 100 Years' War didn't just redraw borders. It created nations and ended the medieval world. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.